Hey guys, so today we are going to be making my healthy meal prep for lunches. I rarely make the same thing. It's always just what I have, what I'm craving. Right now I was thinking about doing baked sweet potatoes, but these are kind of large. I would have liked them to be individual and smaller, but these are the ones I have. And I was thinking to do ground beef and like carrots, and this needs to be used cabbage inside the sweet potatoes, and then maybe some black beans. But since these are too big, I'm thinking I'll just cube them up and I will make like a ground beef pan, and I think that's gonna be pretty good. So I'm using ground beef. We don't have anything here in Iceland that's like low fat, like 90-10 blah blah. We have turkey grounds. We don't have anything else that's like low fat. We have the turkey grounds, no chicken, ground chicken, and then we have this, and this is, it says less than 12% fat. So it's got 12 grams of fat in 100 grams, 148 calories per 100 grams, which after cooking goes up a bit. I mean, maybe like 170, 180. It depends how much water is in your beef. So I'm gonna teach you how to cook this and track it and how to put it into your Myfitnesspal. So I usually just start with my ingredients, and I have a piece of paper to jot down the weights of the stuff. Okay, I have my piece of paper here, so this is really easy. The only thing you have to remember is to weigh your pan before, just to make it easier. If you forget, you can just pour the entire content of your recipe into another container to see the total amount of the weight that you cooked. But to make it easy, because I serve from this pan, I'm just gonna weigh the pan. And for some reason, I always zero the scale. My pan is 1464 grams, and I just put that on the top of the paper. And then you're gonna make sure, the most important thing is to weigh the entire thing after you've done cooking. Numerous times I forgot about this, and then you're kind of screwed. You don't know how much there is. If somebody takes from the pan before, you don't know how much they took. I mean, you can estimate it, but that's gonna be the offset. So I have a container, and I'm just gonna start chopping. I'm gonna do the onions and the carrots first because they take longer to cook. And I'm just gonna preheat the pan to like a 7 out of 9. Alright, now I'm gonna weigh the onions. 105 onion. Take those out because I'm gonna use the entire thing. Weigh your carrots. You can do them after you chop them, that's fine. Alright, but then I'm just gonna start chopping. And now I am gonna use a little bit of oil. So put that on the scale, zero it out. The same thing goes with your spray. Put it on the scale, zero it out. It's not no calories. So you go by the weight and you just track oil. I'm just gonna do a little bit because this is not really a non-stick pan. I mean, that was 2 grams, but we are tracking it. All right, that goes there. And I am gonna lower the heat to 6 because I'm gonna let this cook for, I don't know, a while. Salt it to get it going. It will help get the liquid kind of moving. And you can put the lid on if you want to like steam it or something. And I'm gonna lower the fan because we have a fan, and then we have kids. I'm sorry, and I don't have a microphone. I will have to get that. Let that get going, and I'm gonna chop a little bit of this. This needs to come off. The cabbage actually doesn't take that long. I think I might just do, I think I have a half of this. And I'll start by peeling, and then I'm gonna cube it. But cut it however your taste buds fancy. Alright, let's weigh the sweet potato. 196. I think that's good to me. I want this to be high protein. I mean, preferably, I would do half of the ground beef, half of the turkey, but it's frozen, so. I'm gonna up the heat and put a little bit of water in and a lid, just so it takes a little bit less time. You can get it going by steaming it. Alright, cabbage. All this stuff, it's gonna make the total dish lower in calories. So the more you add of your cabbage, carrots, greens, that's all gonna make the total dish less calories per 100 grams. But it's also gonna make it less protein per 100 grams. But allowing you to eat more if you're on a deficit because it's lower in calories. But if you were to only want 300 grams for dinner of the total cooked dish and you want it to be high in protein, then you don't want to be adding all of this stuff. You want all the nutrients, but you don't want to be adding a lot of the low calorie volume veg. Alright, weigh everything. Weigh the cabbage, 286. That's going in. And I actually have some frozen spinach that I think I want also. But that will go in at the end. Alright, this is good. We can put this away. Alright, I'm going to start seasoning now. I always just do something. Paprika, garlic. This is all salt-free seasoning. Pepper. Let's do a little bit of estragon. Why not? Sage, because I like it. Tiny bit of smoked paprika, not a lot, just like a little bit. What else? I think that's good. Because I'm going to be putting some, lower the heat, some teriyaki sauce on this. I just recently discovered gnocchi to be quite macro friendly. I never really have worked with it, the fresh stuff, and I kind of just thought that it was pasta. I don't know, I knew it was from potatoes, but I kind of just thought it was pasta because it was like potatoes and wheat flour. I don't know. I've never really used it, but then I got it and I'll show you. This stuff here, it's quite delicious. It reminds me of pasta and I really love it. The fresh, you will cook this in boiling water. It won't really get any bigger, but maybe a little bit. 100 grams contains 133 calories and 29 grams of carbs and 2.5 protein. I mean, it is a carb source. I'm not using this for protein, but if you want something that's like pasta, I really like this. And I was thinking about using it in this, but I kind of just don't want to boil anything now. No, actually, I think it might be a fun addition. Let's do it. So we're gonna boil heavily salted water. I'm not gonna use the entire thing. This is 500 grams. I'll just do like 100 grams or something to just get the textures. All right, as I said, heavily salted. I think when I did the entire pack, I put like a tablespoon of salt in there. So I'm gonna do the beef separately. You could have also done it before and used the remaining like fat to cook this to make it flavorful. I just sort of started, so no biggie. This is starting to soften and look good. I am gonna up the heat because I want it a little bit charred, a little bit brown on some sides because that's the flavor. And then I'm gonna use some sauces that I have in the fridge that I need to use up. We're gonna cook this when it starts boiling and it's gonna be great. All right, so this is looking fine. It's not completely done, but I'm gonna remove it from the heat so that I can do the ground beef, and then I'm just gonna let this finish cooking with the sauces at the end. So just the same pan, and then I'm just gonna dunk it in. And all this burnt stuff, that's flavor, my friends, so do not discard that. Now, my package says the amount that's in it. I always double check, just to be sure. It's easy. Just put it on, zero it out, drop it in, and check again. 746. 746. It does say 754. Not a huge difference, but if you are cutting, you might wanna double check stuff. Some of my package says at least 600 grams, and that's not like an ideal tracking device. At least 600 grams, could be 680, you know? And the fat from this is gonna like pick up the stuff from the bottom. Salt. I'm using coarse flaky salt because I like it. And I do think that like I do prefer the flavor of this. It makes it more unhealthy tasting in a good way rather than the, I'm putting this everywhere, rather than the ground turkey. It's not that great tasting, and I mean if I was deeply cutting then maybe I would use that, but we are still going for flavor here and enjoyment. But I am on 2,000 calories a day, and that's just my maintenance, and then 135 grams of protein is what I aim for. All right, up the heat, let this do its thing, and then we will marry everything together. This is starting to boil. This only needs like 2 minutes in there, so that's why I'm making it boil completely first, because I want to do this right. I'm going to put the heat high because this is releasing some liquid and I want it to char a little bit. The water is boiling, so now we measure 100 grams. First. 125. Actually, I think I'll do like 150. I want more of this. Okay, this came out at 160. That's fine. Oil it. And time it. Alright, this is no longer pink, so dump everything together, marry the flavors. I don't think really this even needs sauces or gnocchi, but we did it. Alright, I'm gonna test for salt. More salt, more salt. This is ready. Drain it in cold water. This smells so good. Now, I'm going to use some teriyaki sauce. Zero the scale. This is pretty high in calories, so I'm not going to use a whole bunch. 25 grams. That's plenty. And then I'm going to do some sweet chili, probably around the same amount. Just for some, I don't know, sweetness and chili. Okay, that was 40. That's fine. I'm improvising. Lower the heat to about medium. Add the spinach. Yes, we are weighing that as well. Put the back on. 45. I would have liked more, but all there's left. Ooh, it makes it so much more vibrant. Okay, this is looking delicious. This is not going to be one of my most high protein preps, but I do need calories also in my lunch meals, because normally when I'm at work I don't have time to eat, so I'm like sipping on a protein drink and then I have to head to the gym, so I need something more. Alright, we're gonna let this cook. Gently put the gnocchi just to get the flavors in there, but if it becomes mushy, you have overcooked it. It only needs a little bit because it's fresh. Alright, I'm gonna put the heat down to 5 out of 9. Let this just simmer for like 5 minutes and then check the flavors. Check for taste. This is very good. I feel like I do need a little bit more spice, so I have this chili garlic sauce thing, and I'm gonna dump a good amount in there. It needs a little brightness, you know. Ooh, actually, I do think I have lime. I feel like because the meat is fatty, I need a little bit of brightness, and I want to add the lime in the end. Also, I do have some sesame seeds that I roasted yesterday. These give a lot of flavor. I'm going to sprinkle some. I mean, we could say this is like a Korean beef bowl, I don't know. That's 8 grams. Weigh everything. I'm not weighing this because it's like chili and garlic is fine. But this is almost done, and I'm going to sprinkle some lime. Alright, some lime. I don't know how much. I'm going to taste it. Alright, now we're finished. We are putting the entire thing on the scale. The total is 2,976. So then we just minus off the pound that we put in already. And then now I'm going to show you how to enter this all into Myfitnesspal really quickly. Alright, I decided to screen record this for you. I went into Myfitnesspal, and you go into more and my meals and recipes. From there, you add a recipe and enter ingredients manually. There you're gonna name your recipe. I just did whatever, and then I always just choose 1 serving to begin with, because you will do the servings afterwards when you know how much your pan weighs, you know. So then from the paper that we wrote everything down on, I am just searching for my products and items, and just make sure that all of the entries are correct. You can find, you know, a medium carrot on there, but I choose to use everything in grams because that's more accurate. The olive oil doesn't have to be the exact one that you use, just make sure it has the same amount of calories. Mine always has 900 calories per 100 grams. And sometimes you have to do potato raw just to make sure that you get the entry that's not baked. And then I just kept on adding the items that you don't that you can't scan. And then I think I was scanning that. Yeah, that's the beef that I was using, but it didn't come up as an entry, so I just wrote it in because it says Icelandic. And then I just checked the package to make sure it was the same amount of calories, same amount of protein, and added that in. So when you are scanning a new product, just also make sure that the entry comes up the same. Sometimes a completely different product will come up when you scan it, but just make sure that the ingredient or the nutrition label is about the same. And there I was trying to find the teriyaki sauce. For some reason I thought that the scanning barcode had gotten oil on it and that it wasn't on there anymore. But then I realized that after searching for a while that actually it was fine. And in a minute you will see me actually scanning the product. And there we go, I found it. And that's, you know, it comes up as a tablespoon. Go into the amounts and change the serving size to 1 milliliter or 1 gram. The milliliter usually is the same, and I always start by going, when I change it to a milliliter, I will choose 1, and then I'll do 100 servings to get up the amount that's in 100 grams, and then I will check the label on the product to make sure that it corresponds, because sometimes it doesn't, and then you sort of just have to calculate it yourself. And then I did add those roasted sesame seeds. Not very much. I think actually I wrote down, no, I can't remember. I feel like it was 3 grams, not 8 grams. But no biggie. If I do overestimate, that's better than doing the other stuff. And there I was just doing the total amount of the pan minus the actual weight of the pan, and I did get up 1512 grams. Now you can do 1512 on there and you will get the amount in a single gram, but if you want to like roughly estimate it, then you can just do 15 servings, and then you will get the amount of calories in 100 gram serving. So there you can see I'm entering different amounts just to show you how it will look. And then you would just go into your meal, my recipe, and there it is at the top, and that's where you would put your servings. For me, it's let's say there it's 345 grams, so I put 3.45 because I did the 15 servings, so I have the amounts in per 100 grams. But there you would just do 405 grams if your serving is per single gram. I hope that wasn't too complicated. It's actually pretty easy, but it did take me a while to figure this out a long time ago, and I used to divide the servings, like 4 servings, and then I would always have to have that exact amount instead of just doing it that way. All right, that's it. We're finished. Now we can just divide this into containers or put it all into one container and weigh it each time if you maybe work at home. And yeah, enjoy. Until next time. Thanks for watching.